friends, welcome back. I wanted to chat with you all about what our nightly routine looks like with our two littles. And for context, I work more of an evening shift for my job. I've worked remote for over, 6 years now. And after having our second little one, I switched my schedule to be doing more of evenings, like a one to 9 p.m. I do some work early in the morning and I do some work throughout the day when and where I can, but I really focus on just being present during the day. We do have a babysitter, my sister-in-law, who comes and watches our kids for a few hours as well. So that also helps me to be able to attend my meetings before my husband gets home around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then he's the one making dinner and getting things ready, and then that's when I'll come upstairs and have dinner with everyone, and then we have our nighttime routine with our two littles. So I thought it would be great to share how we make that work and what that looks like. And it's, I say it's pretty simple, but it changes every night. Anyone who has a kid, has any experience with kids at night, knows that it changes constantly. But in general, this is how it has been going, at least for the last little bit. And for context, our first is, he's 24, like 26 months old now, and our youngest is 8 months old. So those are the two ages that we are working with. Our youngest, the 8-month-old, she is still nursing, and so I'm the priority. Like, I'm the parent that's usually working with her and getting her down for the night, and then my husband will do what he can with our oldest son. And so for both of them, what we'll do now is, and I say now because things, change, ebbs and flows. And so current states, we will both, right around that like 6:45, 7 o'clock time frame is when we'll start getting them both ready. The youngest, Eleanor, she will sometimes need to get ready for bed sooner. So just depending on her signs and how she's looking and her tiredness, sometimes she'll start getting ready for bed a little earlier. But in general, we will get them ready at the same time. And that will be, hey, Eleanor's going, she's getting in her pajamas, she's getting her diaper changed, she's getting in her sleep sack for the night. And for Christopher, it's usually he will meet us in the bathroom. Christopher's our oldest, he's the 2-year-old, with my husband, and then we will brush our teeth together. And lately, Christopher has been all about getting all of our toothbrushes ready, undoing the toothpaste, putting it on the toothbrush, but we will all brush our teeth. So Christopher and Eleanor will brush their teeth. Eleanor does have a few teeth now, so that's something that we've done since she was a newborn. With Christopher too, we did like the washcloth, and then as they start getting their teeth, we do a little dab of toothpaste and start brushing, their one tooth, but brushing their gums and just getting them used to having that toothbrush in their mouth. So brushing their teeth, which is an event in and of itself. But we have fun with it. We lean into the chaos, especially with a very independent toddler. He is wonderful and keeps us on our toes, and also our creativity. But we make it work. And so then my husband will take Christopher to his room and get him in his pajamas and his pull-up for the night. I'll take Eleanor, and in general, we'll follow the same patterns. Christopher now, he's a little different, so I'll start with Eleanor because she got dressed in her new diaper for the night. Teeth are brushed. We go in. I'll nurse her on one side, and at this point, I guess I should have started with this. At this point, all the lights are super dim in our house. We're talking in quieter voices. We got the night lights on. In the rooms, curtains are closed. So when I go back to Eleanor's room, we're nursing in pretty dim lighting. Once she's done nursing on one side, we will read a book. And when I say read, we'll go through a couple pages as much as she can tolerate. She's at the current phase where she's just wanting to eat and gnaw on the corners of the books. But even if, sometimes it's hard to read depending on the color of the nightlight. So we'll just make up words, point out pictures, just having that interaction with each other. When we're done with that, we'll put the book off to the side. I'll offer her the other side, and lately she has not been. She's just been nursing off the one side, and she's good. So then I will then just pick her up and go lay her down in her crib. We have a little, just like a hand mobile that will just push and turn, and that will, she'll sometimes cry out for a little bit. Most of the time she'll just turn right over and go right to sleep. And then around 9:30, before my husband and I go to bed, I'll go back in there and I will nurse her, do like a dream feed right before we go to sleep. And in general, she sleeps through the night. She's a champ. She has worked hard and has learned, and as everyone knows, it's ebbs and flows, it goes ups and down, but in general, after that dream feed, she'll not get up till about like 5:30 or 6:30 for another feed, and then starting at 7:30 a.m. is when we get both of them up for the day. All right, moving on to Christopher. Sorry, I'm realizing I'm making this longer. I am doing my best, but there's a lot of details. As anyone knows, with kids, things can change and there's variety. So with Christopher, teeth are brushed. Sometimes he'll comb his hair. Sometimes he'll want to, shave because he sees daddy shaving. And then they'll make it to their room. He has been all about his dino pajamas or his penguin pajamas, so it's got to be one of those two. And then it usually turns into the game. He has a Mr. Bear and a Mrs. Hippo also in his room, and they need also help throughout this process. So it's getting him in his pajamas, getting him in a new diaper, making it fun, interactive, whatever mood Christopher is in for that night. And after he's in his pajamas, again, the nights are really dim and low. He has a nightlight in there. We also have a secondary light in his room for reading because we do more actual reading of books in his room. It's also very dim, but it's just a separate light that's over the rocking chair in his room. So once they get that, they'll pick out the book. We usually have a couple books in there. And then my husband, Christopher, will go over to the rocking chair, and that rocking chair is his now. And he also has a dog stuffed animal. So they'll go over there, they'll read, and then they'll read through the book once. Sometimes we have to cut Christopher off because he'll just keep on going, he'll keep on reading, and he'll have certain pages that he really, really enjoys. But then we'll have him walk over, put the book away, and then at that point it's getting him to lay down, which again, every step could have a different thing for that night, a different flavor. Just depends on the mood and depends on, how things are going and how the night is, and his energy level. And at that point, it's getting him laying down. He has 2 blankets. Oh, and one thing I forgot that we do with both of them, that I forgot to mention with Eleanor, is once we lay them down, and we're about to leave the room, we'll sign, for sleep time. We'll sign over their faces, we'll do it twice, and then we'll grab their hand and have them do it, and we'll say, hey, it's sleep time, in a very quiet, mild voice. And for Christopher, he also gets like a little cup of water to have with him. He has his green blanket. He has a floor bed. So he's on the floor. He can get up and move around, get into his drawers and whatnot. But he does really, really well on the floor bed. It actually worked well. We transitioned him before Eleanor was born. But yeah, in general, reading a book, get him to lay down. He'll usually want to cuddle in there. He'll try to play. Sometimes he'll have a little bit of zoomies in his room right before bed. But in general, he'll kind of rock and cuddle. And then my husband will lay him down and tuck him in and then say goodnight. And then more times than not, he's asking for mama, mama, mama. And so at that point, I've gotten Eleanor down, I've started cleaning up, and then I'll go in there and do the last good night with him. And so we will rock with each other. And one of the things I started lately was trying to do some positive affirmations when we're doing that. And so I'm curious, to see how that continues. And then I'll lay him down, tuck him in, say goodnight. His night light's already on. I'll do the signs with him, and that's really it. For us, it's just about repetition. We try to keep it very consistent. For that timing, that's also why we have a consistent wake up, where I'll wake them up in the morning because my husband's already gone for work. He leaves and gets up pretty early to leave for work, so then it's me getting them up for the day. But I realized I did a lot of talking very, very quickly, but that's really the gist of it. So to kind of highlight and summarize: pajamas, diapers, brushing the teeth, and reading a book, laying them down, doing the sign for sleep time, making sure everything's dim, quiet, not a lot of light, and we do some rocking with both of them if they need it, when they need it, because of course, ebbs and flows, things change constantly, but just leaning into it and enjoying the snuggles while you can, and getting that perspective of their small tiny hands and them just, hey, they need you, and that's okay. And sometimes it can be frustrating for us as parents, especially for me when I'm trying to get back to work, and so it's a work in progress for me, but also just trying to enjoy those moments and stuff, and knowing how quickly they are already going by, and I know that they will continue to go by, and soon they won't even want those cuddles. So I'm just trying to really lean into that, even if I have a lot of work and I do get frustrated. It's just always trying to get perspective and working with your partner. I'm so fortunate for my husband. He is amazing. He is so patient and so kind, and just, gosh, he works so hard to be able to get Christopher down without me, and it's wonderful. So if you listen to this far, thank you for listening. I'm sure, leave a comment. Tell me what your bedtime routine with your little ones look like. I know this is going to evolve. I know this is going to change. But again, current state, this is working well for us. We tried to have kept it consistent from that newborn phase. And this has really worked well for us. We'll continue to go down this path. But if you have any questions, you want to know something more in particular about, how things work, it's the, hey, do you offer, 2 pajama options, whatever it may be. Just reach out, let me know. Would love to offer what's working for us, and I hope it works for you, or it can change up your routine in a positive way. Thank you, and see you all next time.